Marwan Bishara is Al Jazeera's senior political analyst. You're joining us from Paris. Marwan, over the years, you've listened to quite a number of these speeches by Netanyahu at the General Assembly. It's something that he is not reluctant to do. He quite enjoys taking center stage. What did you make of this one?
I think it was a repeat of more of the same acrobatics that we've heard from him before. It's recycled sound bites and arguments and false pretenses and lies. So many lies. I could count the first 10, then I stopped counting. But you can sense that it's all tired. It's all falling flat. That no one is taking him seriously no more. It's not interesting, especially when the reality is so contrasted with his lies. And you get the sense that this is not meant for the United Nations, that this was meant more for something like the US Congress, that those arguments work there. They don't work with an international audience that really understands a bit more that he is an indicted war criminal and his country is basically indicted for genocide. One of the things that I've noticed is a first. I'm not talking about this use of cartoons once again, all the gimmicks. But the most interesting thing that I saw, that I heard, that I have never heard before, and I personally, Cyril, have never used before, certainly haven't used the last 2 decades on Al Jazeera, is the comparison with the Nazis. Why the hell would he bring up the Nazis and Israel? That was a shocker to me. I mean, he's supposed to be a bit more, street smart than that. But he said, Israel is not like the Nazis. What? Why are you saying that? Because some people are saying that, but a lot of people say a lot of things. But why are you bringing it up at the United Nations? To say that the Nazis killed the Jews purposely in their millions, but the Israelis are telling the Palestinians to go, they're not bombing them. They're right there. Well, that actually brings two important issues. One, the Third Reich did tell the Jews to leave before the camps, before the concentration camps. So that's not true. Israelis are telling the Palestinians to leave. Well, the Nazis also told the Jews to leave. And second, genocide is not just the Holocaust. There are many other genocides in the past century. And it is with that what happened in Gaza is compared, and it is by its legal definition. It's not for Israel killing all the Palestinians. It's for Israel trying to destroy Gaza and make life impossible for all its people while killing and injuring some 10% of its population.
Marwan, you heard that we opened the show on all the diplomacy that's happening around Iran and sanctions going to be reimposed. Now, this is something actually that Benjamin Netanyahu, who sees Iran as his nemesis, it's Israel's archenemy, it is something that he addressed. Listen to this.
We lifted a dark cloud that could have claimed millions and millions of lives. But, ladies and gentlemen, we must remain vigilant. We must remain absolutely clear-minded and vigilant. We must not allow Iran to rebuild its military nuclear capacities. Iran's stockpiles of enriched uranium, these stockpiles must be eliminated. And tomorrow, UN Security Council sanctions on Iran must be snapped back.
So, Marwan, those sanctions that Netanyahu was referencing, they are going to snap back some 27 hours from now. So heavy international sanctions that squeezed the Iranian economy for a number of years before they were lifted as part of the nuclear deal negotiations, they're now going to kick back in tomorrow, Saturday, 00 GMT. So that's going to be a win for Netanyahu.
Absolutely. And I sense that there is a bit of what I would like to call Israelization of the Western position on Iran. And I think that sets real dangerous precedents. And it has been doing so for the past number of years, but clearly it really went up not just a notch or two, but I think it broke record when the West supported Israel's attack on Iran under the pretext of self-defense, when Israel is the one that actually carried the aggression, the assault for 12 days against Iran. And one of the most controversial, I would say, most horrible thing to be said by a member of the E3, meaning Germany, France, and Britain, is when Chancellor Merz of Germany said, and I think I'm quoting exactly, maybe paraphrasing, he said, Israel is doing the dirty work for all of us. Germany was saying that Israel, by attacking Iran nuclear sites, which is illegal violation of international law, was doing Europe and the West's dirty work. That means that kind of a support by France, Britain, and the United States, even though they did not participate in the war itself, the United States, of course, did, that they were actually lending hand to Israel, legitimizing its violation of international law and its aggression against Iran. Those same E3, the European powers, are now calling for the snapshot, of course, as we just saw at the vote at the United Nations. All of it together, and that's the main point that we need to take away from this. It's not the vote, it's not the diplomacy, it's not the little nitty-gritties. It's the fact that with Israel's guidance, the West is pushing Iran in the laps of China. We didn't hear much on our air from the Chinese ambassador, but I tell you, the strategic agreement that was signed earlier in the year between China and Iran has not really went into effect in any serious matter. The same thing, the strategic 25-year with Russia and Iran. And everything that is happening now is pushing Iran straight in the laps of China. And China is going to grab Iran. And Iran is going to be desperate for that kind of a superpower help. And that will lead to new realignment, international and in the Middle East. And you cannot imagine how reckless this thing is. Instead of just giving it for 6 months and try to attempt a democracy after the West was complicit in the actual bombing of Iran and its nuclear site, for them to rush into snapback sanctions and push Iran in the laps of China and Russia at this point in time, really leading to major polarization in regional and international affairs, that is a dangerous precedent.
Marwan Bishara, Al Jazeera's senior political analyst. Thank you very much, Marwan.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news, expert insight. Like, share, stay ahead.